When you take off your glasses, and I hope you take this in the right way, your face gets
I'm
twice
going to.
as big.
This is going. Oh yeah.
Because your glasses are
help.
like when I look at you, I look at your glasses, and it's like those are your eyes. But then you take them off, and there's just skin there. Like obviously, they're
Yeah. I know.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I stopped. What's great is I stopped being insecure about my weight, and I started being insecure about just my face.
Why?
Which is awesome. Because one time I was on Zoom and my boss like made fun of my dry skin. Yeah.
Cringe.
He said, "You look like when Peter cried." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And he said, "Oh, in Catholic tradition, when Peter denied Christ, his face became like pocked and like permanently scarred." And I was like,
that's an
awesome.
insane thing to say to someone.
That's an awesome way to like way to make me feel awful and also give me a new piece of trivia that now I hate.
Yeah. Wow.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Your face looks like Sodom and Gomorrah after the bombing.
Crazy. It's a crazy thing to say to someone. But
your face looked like the Book of Revelation.
Right? Ridiculous. Anyway.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Here we are. Oh, it's okay. Yep. It happens.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Anyway.
Do you want to do some dating?
Speaking of insecurities, let's talk about yours here on Dr. Ethan's Dating Corner. The extra show now. This is our second week doing it. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like it. Did you see my thread on Twitter this morning about the? Do you want to? You say hi, welcome to the.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. This is. I wish we could. I wish we were still recording on OBS so we could pull up this video and react to it.
I know.
But did you see my tweet about it? Now I can't pull up my phone during the podcast.
No, say hi, welcome to the crunch now, please.
Oh.
I know it hurts. I'm sorry. All right, you came to the right place, you ding dong. It's called communication, baby.
Welcome to the Crunch, Dr. Ethan's Dating Corner, where we answer your dating questions. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Ethan. Dr. Ethan.
I'm Nurse Patrick. And this is Dr. Ethan.
It's Dr. Ethan. Please address me by my
For those of you who are
title.
new to the show, first of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We used to do this as a segment on our normal show on the feed that you're listening to right now. But
RSS
people
feed.
loved it so much, we decided to take it out of the show, plop it on Wednesday, so you guys get twice as much podcast for the same low price of $0. So.
Oh! I just got some beer on my new
Ethan,
carpet.
why do we do a dating show?
Because dating is the number one thing that people are talking about. Everywhere you look, you see young people going, I don't know what to date and I don't know what to do. And I'm here to make fun of those people and help them and give them a swift kick in the rear end. And
does it work?
Absolutely. We've had how many marriages come out of our dating advice?
At
like
least
4 or
3,
5,
which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's like a good, not counting our marriages. So
yeah, not counting our own marriages, to each other.
There are children, there are families that exist because of our advice. So you need to trust us. And it's also good because we're Catholic and we love the Lord. But a lot of Catholic dating advice is like, write a prayer journal every day for your future.
Do a 54-day rosary novena for your future wife.
So, to be fair, me and Emma did do a 54-day rosary novena leading up to our wedding, which was a great move. I loved that. But
I bet it was.
Yeah, it was fun. But it's like that stuff is not for everybody. So it's like we're here to give you the hard facts, the hard truths. I'm going to tell you when to make out with someone and when not to. I'm going to tell you when it's okay to touch the butt and when it's not okay to touch the butt. Like that's what we're here for.
The 54-day rosary novena, I don't know if you know this. There's a pair of Catholic speakers who at the same time, what, is that not doing it for you?
No, I just spilled down my face because apparently I've developed a drinking problem.
That's disgusting.
I'm glad little airplane humor
is in
for
4K, huh?
Yeah, right.
Ethan, you forgot the other tradition of when we add a new piece of technology to the crunch. I anxiously check if it's working, so I'm going to go anxiously.
That's true. No. Why are you doing this to me? Patrick, why? It's there. It's fine. Look at you. You're like a little ball of wax.
It could have malfunctioned. I know. I melt at the first sign of heat. But anyway, the 54-day Rosary Novena, for those of you who don't know, was like a big thing in our age group. We invented 54-day Rosary. No, I'm just kidding. Because there was a Catholic speaker who did a novena for her future spouse, and he did one at the same time, and they met on the last day of the 54-day Rosary Novena. Huge, right?
Yeah, which is really cool for them, but like sucks for everybody else. Like it's just one of those
54-day Rosary Novenas are cool.
It's like people. It's like they are cool, and I like them. It's like you hear the story about those.
I
guys
like that you pray.
Sorry. Can I finish?
Yeah.
It's like to hear the stories about those guys that win the lottery twice. You know, it's like okay, cool, like really cool, happy for you.
Yeah.
What's in it for me? You know.
Survivorship bias. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I like that on the 54-day Rosary Novena, you start the prayer with an extra Hail Mary, because by the end of the 54-day Rosary Novena, you've said an extra rosary.
Oh, is that true? Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if we did that when we prayed it.
Oh yeah, well it's on a certain app that is not sponsored. That's at least how they do it.
Yeah.
So
no free sponsorships, except
no
for
free sponsorships.
Whatever the name of Timothy Gordon's dating services. Because I want to talk about this before we get it. We have some user submitted questions that we're going to get to, and you can submit questions if you email patrick@thecrunchcast.com. That's how you can get the questions into us. We're developing a way to submit them on our website, but it's in progress. Yeah. But before we get to those user submitted questions that are submitted by you, the listeners, and we're answering your questions, we're going to talk a little bit about this alt-right dating website that popped up. Oh, what? So you saw the video and you saw the tweets. Uh-huh. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
So Timothy Gordon and his friend, and his buddy, I don't know who it is.
Some guy.
They started a matchmaking service. They said it was a dating app, but it's not. It's a matchmaking service. Because they're involved, right?
Yeah, like I don't know if they do like Zoom calls with the people.
Yeah, like they said they do Zoom calls with them. So it's free for a woman to sign up.
How much does it cost for a man to sign up, Patrick?
$500. It sounds like a joke, but
Which is crazy because you could submit a question to this show for free and get married.
That's what I posted. I was like, we have a track record of success. No Zoom calls. It's completely scalable. Investors are interested. But yeah, so he's doing it. So the guy signs up for the app, and you have to apply. Yeah. And if you can get rejected, and they'll send you your money back, which doubt. Like, come on. Yeah, and then they are going to coach you, and they're like guaranteeing you that you'll get a wife, not girlfriend, wife within 18 months.
That's
crazy. That is crazy. That's ridiculous.
That's actually insane.
I love it.
I wish that I was still single. I don't. Sorry, let me finish. Emma, let me finish the sentence before you get mad. I wish I was still single so that I could like do like you know how the people go underground into like Planned Parenthood, you know? I want to do that, but for like the
You want a Lila Rose Timothy Gordon?
I want a Lila Rose Timothy Gordon. Yes.
Uh-huh.
My tweet was have you ever been down bad so hard that you invented an app where you pay money so that other men can't access the app? Like, it's just insane to me that that's basically what they're doing. It's like you are so bad at dating. We're going to give you a monetary out to make it so that all of the chads that are beating you on Tinder can't compete with you anymore, which is basically like, it's like paying. It's like when really rich guys like pay money to have to play with NBA players.
Are they paying money to not have other guys on the app?
It's exclusive, quote unquote. So like the reason you pay money because the average young strapping lad isn't going to pay $500 to be on the app
or get accepted.
Right. So they make it paywalled so that they make it restricted. So it's like you pay money so that other dudes don't have access to the same pool of women that you do, essentially, which is insane when you think about it.
Absolutely bananas. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy. It's like what Bumble did, but to the extreme. Where like
I don't know what Bumble did.
The whole thing about Bumble was like women have the upper hand, so like a woman has to message you first, or something. Or does that Hinge? I don't know. That was like the big thing. One of them.
Whichever one it is, it would send me into a depression if I was 19 and using it.
Yeah, sounds right. Anyway, but yeah, I love it. It's an extremely Catholic world business model because it is not scalable.
Is there something that we could charge $500 for?
No. But I don't think they can charge $500 for this.
I mean, they're doing it.
I don't think they need, like, this is the thing about it is, okay, think about the size of their audience and the percentage of people who would be willing to do that. Now, these two men have a group of men who are convinced that these guys have the secret to getting a smoking hot trad wife. And so they're like, all I need to do is pay them $500 once.
Yeah.
And I'll get a smoking hot trad wife. There's going to be people who do it. But like how obvious, it's obviously, I don't use this word lightly. It's so obviously a grift. And here's why. It's because like, you can't expect me to think that you're building a business off of, I'm going to get guys to pay me $500 a pop. I'm going to do individual Zoom calls with all of them. You know, like that's not going to change. It's him and his wife and the other guy and his wife. That's 4 people you have to be on a Zoom call with. First of all, terrifying. I might pay $500 to do this. I want to talk to all 4 of them.
I think you should. They would pretty quickly figure out.
Comment below if you think we should catfish Timothy Gordon. That's a video. That's a video. We catfish Timothy Gordon. That'd be really funny.
Dear.
Don't tell him. This is on the YouTube. Don't tell him. We're gonna do it as a secret. We gotta get my friend Pat Frazier. Shout out Pat Frazier. He's got like really cool trad guy outfits, and I think we could dress him up and like do a little profile with him. I think we could use my friend Pat to catfish Tim Gordon, and then they just show up and it's me, and I go, "Why did you plagiarize that book?" And they just click off.
I think that would work great.
I think so too.
I think, it's a whole deal.
And then we could sue them and get our money back because they didn't fulfill the Zoom call.
That's true. So it's really, there's no risk.
No, there's no risk at all.
Yeah. I think, I don't care too much about what these yokels are doing. It doesn't really concern me. What I do care about is the people who wrote into us, who are asking for our help.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's what we should focus on. And not provide a platform to the alt-right, fascist dating website. I don't think it's actually a fascist website.
I am so excited to see if women actually sign up for this.
Yeah. I can't imagine, because what's the value proposition for a woman? Hey, what if you had a dating app experience that was worse than all of the other dating app experiences, with a pool of men that their whole thing is that they were unsuccessful on every other dating app? It's like, why would you sign up? What's in it for the woman? The whole thing is geared towards men. What if it's all a thing? What if it's all the men finally recognize that like the reason that they're not marrying women is because they're homosexual? Maybe that's the key that we're unlocking here.
Riley from Clerically Speaking had a good point. She was like, the better business model would be all women are automatically enrolled, and you have to pay $500 for the men to never contact you.
That's funny. I like that. Riley's funny,
anyway,
man.
Speaking of men who do deserve to get contacted, I'm poking.
Here's a question from the Discord. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
I'm gonna read it. I shared it with you, but we can alternate reading if you'd like.
Okay.
This one is called Slide to the Left, Slide to the Right, Crisscross Cha-Cha Now.
Oh yeah.
What is the consensus on sliding into DMs? There's one girl in particular who I went to college with, who I always thought was cool, but never made any moves on because we were both in relationships at various points. And to be honest, I never even really knew her that well. It's been 2 years since we both graduated, and for some reason, I've noticed her active on social media more, which got me thinking about her more. I've seen that she's in the area too. I have no other way of contacting her besides social media DMs. Is this an acceptable way to reach out, or should I just continue to pray and wait for God to make something happen if it's meant to be? This is the kind of guy.
What do you think, Dr. Ethan?
This is the kind of guy that I want to playfully slap across the face. I would just like to strike him and maybe like knock some sense into him.
What were the options? DM and...
So the options are, 1, contact the person that I like and think is attractive to ask out, or 2, do nothing. What the hell are we talking about? What is this? Like, I love you. I'm glad you're in our Discord. I'm glad you're listening to our podcast. You know, thanks for being here. Patreon.com/thecrunch. But what are you talking about? Like, what? Or should I pray? Should I pray and wait to see if God? But God isn't gonna magically pop you guys in the same room. He's given you a way to make it. You could send the DM, and that could be
the internet.
Oh, dude, this is not the 1830s anymore, where you have to like meet someone at the saloon once a year when you go in for supplies to the town. You know, like
what did you think the 1800s was like? Oh my gosh. Nick and I have this bit about like, so we were watching this. My brother and I have this bit where we were watching this TikTok, and the guy was like, you've seen this? It's like my 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's one day for me.
Yeah,
then 12 p.m. is my day 2. I'm already weak. Boom, I'm months ahead. He's like, this isn't like when they were living in caves 300 years ago and hitting each other with sticks. That's my favorite part, because I'm like, what do you mean living in caves 300 years ago?
I love that guy.
You think Thomas Jefferson lived in a cave?
There were no clocks 300 years ago. That video is so funny because he's just so confident. He's like, and the guy that's interviewing him,
give me 7 days of that, I'm gonna kick your ass.
give me a year of that, I'm light years ahead. It's like you can't just redefine.
First of all, light years is a measure of distance.
Yeah, it was a lot. Oh man, yeah. I think you slide into her DMs. That's how I got married.
Obviously.
You know, like it's not weird. It's only weird if you're ugly.
Phoebe and I did the the Christian college equivalent of sliding into her DMs. I did the Christian college equivalent of sliding into Phoebe's DMs. I talked to her after church.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
while wearing household hoodies.
Yeah, I think the sliding into the DMs thing is like overblown. Like, I think people say like, oh, you know, you don't want to do that, or I don't know, there's like a weird stigma around it. But it's like, if you just phrase it a little bit, you got to get the phrase sliding into the DMs out of your brain. What you're doing is you're messaging her, like you're reaching out to her, you know, and you're just saying, hey, what's up? And as long as you don't send a picture of your genitals, it's fine. Like, it's you fine. Just
that's actually
what I did.
It's actually
I'll
really
tell you,
easy to not do that.
It's actually really simple because there's a lot of steps involved.
I've DM'd women on the internet before with no interest of dating them. Happens sometimes.
Yeah. Here's what happened with me and Emma. I liked her. I thought she was cute. We didn't really know each other. We lived on different sides of the country. Me and Emma never met before I DM'd her on Instagram, and now we have a child and a house. So, I mean, trust me here. I waited for her to post a story on Instagram that I could respond to without being creepy. And then I responded to it, and I said, hey, this reminds me of da-da-da-da-da. Or, oh, LOL, this is so funny because da-da-da-da-da. And then we started a conversation, and I asked for her phone number in, like, that conversation. Nice. And then we started texting and calling. So, like, just I mean, you could wait around forever to see if God ever puts you in the same Trader Joe's as her, or you could just respond to like what she's doing in her life and relate it to your life, and then say, hey, I'd love to continue talking to you. Can I have your phone number? And then you can use her phone number on one of those websites where you pay $15 a month, and you can find her address, and then you can go to her house, and then you can knock on the door, and you can be like, I found you.
Apparently I am an incredibly difficult person to find. Someone tried doing that with me recently.
Yeah.
And they were like, I couldn't find your phone number. So if you're ever trying to look for my phone number, it was at a networking event for my job that's unrelated to this podcast.
Yeah.
And so the guy was like, yeah, I found your blog and your podcast. It's all great, but I couldn't find I couldn't find anything about your job. And I was like, oh, sorry.
Patrick Nevy, Melbourne, Florida. I have a website that I use for this. Patrick Lawrence Nevy, born April 1997. Let's see here. It's loading.
That's on social media.
We're gonna have this. We're gonna bleep this out. Ryan, bleep this out when I say his phone number.
You have my phone number. It doesn't count.
I know, but I want to prove to you that I can find it on the website.
Nope.
Wait, really?
Yep, that's wrong.
Hold on.
Nope. Nope. No, that's my grandparents' phone number from before Brevard County got the 321 area code.
That's crazy. No one call Patrick's grandparents, please.
The phone line is no longer that phone number.
Okay. All right. So let me just say, but I did find your home address. I do know that this is your home address where you live currently. So I did find that at least.
Oh, really? Oh, that's weird.
And it has your... What?
Circle, but yeah.
Yeah, edit it out. Everyone who's listening. Edit out. It'd be really funny, Ryan. Edit out all of those phone numbers. All right, anyway.
No, you got to bleep the phone number and just like, no. Okay, the first one was Nick's phone number.
Was it really? I'm calling Nick right now. So anyway, slide into the DMs. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't work out, you're exactly where you are now. Like, it'd be
funny if every time. Yeah. This is because, and the reason why you couldn't do that is because I've never given my phone number to a, like a cash register or like anything like that.
You've never put it in a website or anything?
Nope. I always do a fake one. They don't need to text me. They don't need to text me. What do I need to text for?
Can I tell you about a scam that almost happened to me the other day? This freaked me out, actually. So
I get
a call. So I moved into this house that you guys can see. I'm in the spare room. And that's from Narnia. That's a joke from Narnia.
Yeah.
And I'm in the spare room, and we ordered appliances from the Home Depot. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I like their theme song. And
I played in the car all the time. Phoebe hates it.
So I ordered appliances. I got a call the other day that was like, "Hey, this is Rebecca from the Home Depot. Did you just order some appliances?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did order some appliances." And she's like, "We want to give you a $25 gift card if you answer this survey." And I thought it was going to be about like the delivery process, like how did the guys do, when they dropped them off and installed them. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll talk about my appliances for $25. I got no issue with that." And she started asking me questions about like the water filtration system. Like, do you have a hose? Like, do you have a water softener? Do you have, she's asking about our water usage. She's like, how many people live in the house? I was like, okay, that's weird. And then she was like, okay, so in order to get your $25 gift card, we're going to need to send someone out to your house. So what's your address? And I was like, you need my address. You have the address. You brought the appliances here. Like, you delivered them. And then she was like, so we're just going to need like a good time that both you and your wife are home. When would that be? And I was like, I don't know. And then she was like,
were they going to break into your house?
No, well, it was crazy because I thought, like, I was listening to this whole thing and I was like, is this really the Home Depot? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what's your wife's name? And I was like, you don't need to know my wife's name. Like, what's the difference to you? You're coming out to test my water, presumably. So, like, why do you need to know? Well, they were like, well, we just need to know how to address her. I'm like, you don't need it. You can talk to me. I'm on the phone right now. You talk to me. That's my wife.
Yeah.
I don't need the Home Depot talking to my wife.
All right.
And she was like, well, we just need to know. And I said, I'm not interested in your gift card anymore. And then I hung up the phone. And it was freaky because I was like, oh, what if they come to our house and they steal all of our stuff? But then I looked on Reddit, and that's just a thing that Home Depot does to try and upsell you a home water filtration system. And so they try to like get you both there, so you can't be like, oh, let me talk to my wife. You know, like that's why they try to schedule it for the two of you.
That wasn't a scam, Ethan. That was just Home Depot trying to upsell you.
It was a scam. They took my credit card information.
So I almost got scammed, and this is a tricky one.
Yeah?
This is a tricky one. So I was, this may be because I was cold calling businesses, but I got a 3 texts like every day from, hey, this is Mike from blah 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 landscaping. You needed a quote. I said I ignored it, and then he said, hey, I haven't heard anything back from you. Do you need a quote? I said, no, you must have the wrong number. I never asked for a quote. And he says, great. Can I have your name? Can I have your name and address to take you off this list?
Wow. That's a crazy question.
And I said, you don't need to, you actually could just take me off the list because the phone number that you're texting right now.
Yeah, just stop texting this
phone number. Yeah, just stop texting that phone number. And then you won't. I said I never gave you my address. And then he stopped texting me. And I'm like, cool.
That's crazy.
There you go.
Yep. That's like calling someone. And be like, hey, I'd like to sell you this service. Oh, actually, could you take me off your list? Yeah, no problem. We're just going to need like all of the digits on the front and back of your credit card and also your social security number, and we'll just get you right off that list. No problem. We'll take care of you. Ridiculous. Yeah. How would they do that?
But no, man, I've learned, doing sales, I've learned a lot of different tricks to like get information out of people real quick. Oh. It's very nice. Yep.
Is it nice? Or are you a manipulator? Yep. Much like this next question. Ooh. I'm just kidding. I don't know if this question's about manipulation.
Asking for someone's name so you know how to address them is a solid.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah. When I call,
when know how to address her. No, you don't talk. I don't let my wife talk to people outside the home. You should understand that. I'm a traditional man.
I paid $500 for this wife. Can you imagine? She came all the way from
Russia. She didn't come all the way from Russia to talk to the Home Depot home filtration salesman.
Oh my gosh! What if that's the plan?
What
if that's the plan? If all else fails, it's a Ponzi scheme. They're like, once they get enough guys, they'll find like half of them wives, and then the one who doesn't get it, they'll just buy one of them a wife from Russia, and then they'll be like, hey, we got this one a wife, and then they'll keep coming. It's
surely a Ponzi scheme. I mean, Russian wives are expensive. Not that I've looked, but they're like $8,000, $8.2 grand.
Yeah. All you need is 12
plus
guys
shipping
to sign up.
and handling.
I feel like the handling. Never mind. Go on. All next question.
The Redditor's plight. This is a question from the Catholic Reddit. I realize today I'll probably never be able to afford what it seems Catholic women want, which is to be a stay-at-home mom with a large family until my 50s or something. And by that point, it's over for men in America even being educated. Sorry. This guy needs Timothy
Al Pacino just had a child. All right.
I got laughed at and chastised by one for only making 60 grand for being a failure as a Catholic man. I'm unsure if even having my faith is a bonus, seeing so many women just date outside the church anyway, and it seems rare to non-existent. Any secular women want to wait until marriage these days. To top it off, I can't even do anything to cope with this, aka pornography, because that's against the rules. It just sucks all around. It also kind of saps my motivation to try and move up at work or anything if I'm only valued for what I can provide. I don't want to be married. Even fitness goals, I figure, why bother if I'm going to be excluded anyway? So I included this question not because it's a shimmer of light in a dark world, but because it's, I think, representative of the mindset of the type of guys who are signing up for the dating service that we talked about at the beginning of the episode. I think it's important to understand where they're coming from and not just write them off as lunatics, even though that's way more fun. So I think it's good to talk about this.
If you've ever thought to yourself, man, the church, my faith isn't a bonus and it makes it so I can't watch porn. Hey, go to therapy. I don't know. You got to get that figured out, man. That's not, you should know that that's not going to help you. You know, that's not, you're like, I can't even have any unhealthy coping mechanism. This sucks.
Right. It's like, the stupid Catholic Church won't let me do heroin. It's ridiculous.
I would feel so much better if I did heroin.
Did you see? There was a Tim Dillon clip that I saw the other day where he was on some podcast and they were like, we do like mental health Tuesdays around here. So like, what do you do to cope with like when you're dealing with stress or anxiety? And he's just like, a lot of people struggle with those kinds of things. What I do, black tar heroin. And he just started talking about how he mainlines heroin as like a totally earnest and sincere response to like, how do you handle your mental health?
That's really funny.
Really funny. Yeah.
That's good.
But anyway, I agree. I think viewing Catholicism in the same way as the rules from Fairly Odd Parents is probably not the best way to grow in your relationship with the Lord and in your relationship with women. Yeah. Because if you're always like, oh, I can't do this because Jorgen von Strangle is going to come down and tell me that I can't do it anymore, then it's like, no, God's not Jorgen von Strangle. You know what I mean?
No.
Not every woman out there is Trixie Tang. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Vickies out there these days. And they are so icky. Anyway, we're going to move away from that. But I think this guy, it seems like his whole issue is that he's wrapped up and he's like believes the lie that like you have to make a certain amount of money to be a quote unquote high value man. And like he doesn't have anything to provide outside of like his ability to physically create income, to transform that income into like resources and things like housing and food. And so it's like, which is such a narrow view of masculinity, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's so pervasive. Like I was talking to some high schoolers today this week at Catholic Family Land, at Catholic Woodstock, and that was kind of their perception of masculinity was like, well, like doesn't manhood like mean like being like providing, like being a provider? But well, no. Don't define things based on your success, right?
Because, well, isn't femininity just child rearing? Isn't that all it is?
It can't be.
No, that's like it's the exact same thing, just in the other way. It's like reducing it all the way down to like one thing, which is like, it's not. Yeah. It's like it's what people do to God. It's like God is only mercy, or he's only justice, or he's only wrath, or he's only whatever. It's like no.
It's all these things and more.
Yeah, right. And it's the same with like men and women, not to the same degree, obviously, but.
Yeah, and I think you're right when it comes to like, having a little charity when it comes to these guys, because very clearly he had like a fear, right? And he said, I've literally been laughed at for making 60 grand. You know what, man? That woman was obviously dumb. All right. To me, it's very clear. Like I've raised a family on less than that, like can't anymore, Things have gotten a little bad, but it's like 60 grand is a perfectly fine salary for someone who's in their 20s or even their 30s, and it's like working their way up. So like, if a girl laughed at you for that, first of all, I don't know, like, how much does she make, right? And like I doubt she's making, I doubt she's making much more than that, right? But like, I don't know. It's just. That's the thing is these guys have this fear that women are going to look down on them for X. And then all of a sudden a woman looks down on them for X and they go, aha, it's all the same. And it is very tempting to like just write off these guys as bitter and it's their fault.
You just, as soon as you call them, you can just categorize them as incels and then you don't have to think about them anymore. You're like,
like let's think about
just incels. And then you just... It's like, no, they're still people.
But like think about the way that people react when someone like, I was meeting with a client. He was talking about his experience going to a Catholic church, and he said that someone this is crazy, right? He was trying to follow along up down kneel up down, and a woman he like missed standing up. He like didn't realize he was supposed to stand up, and a woman turned to him and went, "Are you even paying attention?" Yeah, and he said, I'm trying, but now I'm effing leaving. And he walked out, and the woman acted all offended. And would you blame him if he never went to a Catholic church again?
I would not blame him at all.
Yeah, and so like that's how we react to people who are hurt by the Catholic Church, but we don't extend that same courtesy to guys who have been legitimately harmed by women. Right. And it's because it's
Careful
like,
there.
well, you can't get mad at all women for the actions of one. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
But if you were that person, you would probably feel the same way. In the same way that, like, you can't get mad at the entire Catholic Church for the actions of one mean lady. That's true. Mm-hmm. But
or one
you could understand why that
cardinal.
person would. Yeah, exactly. Who will win? The sanctifying grace of Jesus Christ, or one
horny cardinal? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough. It's tough to look at guys like this and think that there's any hope, because you're just like, oh man, you have so many wrong assumptions, and it's just like, I want to grab this guy and be like, let's just talk, because it feels like you're going through a lot, and it's this is why I think male friendship is so important, because if it's done well, it teaches you that there are like other things beyond just like the traditional masculine, like even the most manly of men. If you start talking to him, you realize that he's not what you think he is. He doesn't just work out all day and like go to work and like be angry and bald. Like that's just what we assume that like all these guys are like. But like everybody is kind of their own person. And so I think when you have real friends, it kind of lets the walls down a little bit, and it allows you to just be like, oh, okay, this guy over here who's married, he's not anything special. He's just a guy, like, so maybe that could be me, and I think that's the reason that you have to be in community, and you can't just be alone all the time, because then you start thinking these thoughts and you have no one to tell you that those thoughts are not true.
Except for the internet, and that's not a great place to go.
Yeah, because the internet, who could, it's just it's all words on the screen. That's the crazy thing about the internet. It's like someone could write the most true thing about God or about creation or about whatever, but it's like written in the same font as someone saying shidfard. Like it doesn't
and they're
matter.
Both written by Ethan.
They're both written by me on my Twitter. Like it, because it's all just the way that we receive it. It's like the medium is exactly the same. So like it just doesn't change how people receive it. So that's why having an in-person relationship is so important, because then you hear someone's voice and you like see their face and you do all these things. So anyway, that's what I want for this guy. And I also want the women who encounter this guy to maybe have a little bit of charity. Don't necessarily go out with him because you feel bad, but like, don't treat him like the scum of the earth either, because he just needs help.
Yeah, you might not want to go out with him for a little while. Like, he might need some time. Yeah, I similarly am harder on the guys than the girls, and the reason is because I just am a guy, So like, I'm allowed to be a little harder on the guys than the girls. It would be silly for me to be so hard on women because I don't know what they go through,
I'd like to move on to the next question before we end the show. Finish what you're saying.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Someone made a... Never mind. No. This is not worth saying.
Okay. All good. This is one that we got direct to the DMs of Patrick on Discord, bit.ly/crunch_discord. This one says, howdy, y'all. I think it's from a woman, so this is a good mix-up. Howdy, y'all. Here's a question for Dr. Ethan. I'm sending it this way because I have too many real-life friends in the Discord. Hello, Dr. Ethan and Nurse Nevi. I am a woman in my mid-20s. All right. Good on you. You're halfway there. You've got it.
You're right there.
I'm a woman in my mid-20s and really interested in going out with
I have an app you can join for free. Guess what?
Yeah, right.
Boy, do I have a deal for you.
I am a woman in my mid-20s and really interested in going out with my guy friend. We've been friends for 6 years and share many of the same interests. About a year ago, I communicated to him that I was interested in getting to know him better and kind of used the "are you going to ask me out" line. He admitting that feelings were reciprocated, and we had one date experience. So that's a crazy phrase. She did not say we went on one date. We had one date experience.
When you go on a date with me, it's an experience.
It's an experience.
The Patrick Nevy experience. Now only one woman can experience the Patrick Nevy experience. Much like the Jimi Hendrix experience, except a little more funky.
However, because of distance and his demanding work schedule, he runs his own business, further dates didn't pan out. I recently saw him again, and I'm still interested in reconnecting and trying to date, but I'm nervous to once again take initiative to make a move. A close friend said, if he wanted to take you out, he would have made the time. Is this fair advice? Should I make another move or move on? Doctor, please advise. Thanks, boys. Love the pod. Can't wait for the pilgrimage. I was joking the other day about the pilgrimage because Emma's really worried about me getting, like, kidnapped, you know?
Cholera. Oh.
Yeah, like she thinks because we're Christians and it's like we could get martyred or whatever. But I was like, babe, don't worry. If I get kidnapped, I'll make the funniest hostage video of all time. And the United States government will have no choice but to send the troops to come get me. I was cracking wise with a bag over my head.
You start blinking in Morse code, but you're actually blinking shid fard.
Yeah.
Oh, but what's he saying? He's saying listen to listen to the crunch.
He's
God.
doing an ad. He's
ad
he's a podcaster. Call off the SEAL team. He's a podcaster.
We got a podcaster. Oh man. Yeah, that'd be funny.
That would be funny. It'd be worth it for sure. As long as I don't die. What do you think? What do you think about this situation? What do you think about this girl?
I think she should just talk to him again. That's honestly my opinion. I think she's established that there was. I mean, you had one date experience.
Yeah.
Right. So one date experience.
Do you think that means
it just never
up?
It never I don't think so. It never panned out. Never panned out, and it was because of like demanding work schedule and distance. So like it wasn't because of incompatibility. It seems like they had a good time. And so that was about a year ago. That's a good enough time frame. You're running out of time though.
You are running out of time. I think once you've broken the seal of date, like you've been on a date. So I think at this point you're entitled to say, hey, do you remember when we went on a date last year and it was really good and we both liked each other and then you were too busy for me? What the hell? Like, I think you're perfectly entitled to that conversation with this guy and just say, hey, like I really see something here and that's fine if you don't. But like I am in a place in my life where like I either need to pursue this and set time aside to do it with you, or I need to move on. And I just need to know if you're in or if you're out. It's like one of those things where it's like the guy might think that because it didn't pan out that he just doesn't have a chance with you anymore. And so because you've already been on the date and you have a friendship, I think it's not like that weird or that inappropriate, quote unquote, for you to go and say, hey, you know, this is where I'm at. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I don't think it's emasculating. I don't think it's not feminine. Like, I think it's just you guys have a relationship and you're just broaching a conversation that probably needs to be broached because he doesn't listen to the podcast. So if he did, he would know, but he doesn't know.
But no.
So you've been given the knowledge. It is now your burden to carry this rock up the hill like Sisyphus, except can you do what he never did? Get it up. Get it all the way up there.
Get it all the way up there.
Get it all the way up there. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that's a good show.
Fair?
I think that's fair. I think that's a good show. I think we've given some good advice. We've healed some wounds. We've solved some international crises. Yes.
Yeah.
Iran Contra. That was us. We fixed that. So I think
I
we
ran
can
a
call
5K.
it a day. Did? When?
You just said I ran Contra, and I said I ran a 5K, and it was funny.
That's funny. That's good.
It doesn't matter. We're about to record. We're about to record the premium episode, so check it out on Patreon. Patreon.com.
We've got quite a cute little release schedule going on. I was thinking about that. It's like we got the main pod on Sunday, dating show on Wednesday, bonus pod on Friday. That's pretty good.
I never uploaded the bonus pod from last week because I just didn't get the chance to. So I need to do that.
That's okay.
It's
double up.
We'll double up.
Pod.
We'll just do 2 in one day. Anyway, So go
that
to
portrays
patreon.com/thecrunch.
success. You know what I mean?
Check
Those
us
were
out.
high quality.
Go to bit.ly/crunch Discord. Join our Discord community. And follow us on Instagram. We're popping off. We're viral. Some people are saying that they're so impressed with our growth that it blew them away. We're blowing people away on Instagram. So if you go to Instagram,
we're
the Crunchcast,
so successful.
Yeah, we're
hey,
so successful.
If you look at our Instagram, look at our Instagram account like 5-6 months ago, it was like 300 followers.
No, it was like a graveyard. But now, baby, we're back. We're better than ever.
It was 300 6 months ago. It was like 300 followers and 5 posts.
Yeah, we are cooking. Let him cook. I'm saying.
Whipping it up.
You want to ask me if there's anything else for the people? This is the reverse.
Dr. Ethan, anything else for the patients?
You can sign up for a $500 dating website, or you just keep hanging out with us for free. It's your call.
Thank you all for listening. Please pray for us. We'll be praying for you, and we'll see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.